Hey everybody, welcome back to Chris's Comments, a show of common sense on common ground. And I'm going to hold up my spiral that I normally write on but don't usually show. uh, why, I don't really know. But I'm going to do this to block the sun. Because as you can see, it's a bit of an obnoxious right now into the lens. Okay, I was going to bring up, I promised to bring up about corporate greed and the reason why things have run to crap here in the U.S. And everybody says it's these people, it's those people, it's that people, it's this kind of people, and all that. In all out honesty, on this show, you're not going to hear that. What you're going to hear is corporate and company greed. Why? Because the president isn't telling them to gas gouge the prices of our gas. The president and the administration is not telling companies and corporations to jump in the inflation game of price hiking and quiet firing and all this good stuff. It's not a political party thing. It's not a president thing. It's a greed of corporate America thing. Now, I'll get to that in detail when I get to that. I got just completely distracted and turned to this incident that happened in Ecuador. A television news station got raided by a gang, and they got mugged and all this good stuff. And they were throwing up the gang signs and all this good stuff. And it was all because their crime lord boss man, crime lord Frito, which means in Spanish to aim, I guess trigger, Descendandar was taken. But to aim, Lord to aim, Frito, I'm sorry. Lord to aim, escaped from prison. And that was enough to raise the spirits of gang members to go out and raid the news channel and, boast their power. Okay. And this got my attention quick because you know full well all the rhetoric up here in America, it's going to be, this is what happens when you don't have a law and order president. So-and-so is not a law and order president. I got news for everybody up there. That has absolutely nothing to do with a president. Okay? Or even a political party. It has everything to do with gangs. Okay? The violence, the gangs are formed from greed, or power that's ascertained with dirty money. Okay, dirty money is formed when underneath the nose of the law, when the law is neglected. The law is neglectful to or partaking in the dirty money business. And none of that is done with permits or licenses that you need to apply for or grants from the government. It's all underground. It's all dirty. It's all corruption. It's all whatever, and all this stuff. None of that has to do with the political. You can have a political law and order president, and there will still be gangs. You can have a law and order, church, and there will still be gangs. There will still be, as long as greed and corruption exists, there will still be instruments of that doing their thing. Okay? And to say, yeah, but it doesn't happen this big and all that because here in America, we got such and such political party figure do it. No, that's a bunch of BS. Pick a political party. Crimes, gangs, and violence and all that has always been existent. Yeah, but it was worse when the other party. No, it was bad all around to begin with. Thank you very much. Look, I'm sorry. But the incident in Ecuador, all the way to Ecuador, yeah, in Aquaman's land, the incident in Ecuador happening here in the U.S. depends on whether or not we have a president that protects all people or just the ones chosen to be his people. And that's the bottom line right there. Look, I'm sorry. There's been jailbreak, and here's a statistical proof. Okay, we get them roughly 2,000 prison escapes per year, but that's not including that. That's 2,000. That's the average from Biden administration to the Trump administration to the Obama administration. It's always been roughly 2,000 per year. One time it dropped underneath 2,000 in 2014 during the Obama administration, down to 1,950. Okay, the rest have been nothing but 20, 23, 2,200, 2,500, 2,200. One time it escalated up to 3,100 in 2011 during the Obama administration. I think it was first term. 3,000, 3,100, 3,185. Okay. But the rest of the time, it's been at the 2,000 range. You know when it's been any more times that it's been 3,000 to 4,000 to 5,168 during the during the Bush Jr. years. Okay. From 2000 to the 2008, it decreased, sure, but it started at 2000 at 5,168 escapees, Bush Jr.'s very first year. Okay? Now again, it de-escalated from 4,500 to 4,200 to 4,100 to 4,300, back up to 4,300, down to 3,080 to 3,050 to 3,046 to 2,481 by the end of 2008. Okay, now that's a real big drop of prison escapees each year. Okay, from 2000 to 2008. So somewhere down the line, he shaped up. Okay, but in the beginning stages, when it was all about the war machine, 9/11, when it was all about post 9/11 and having to invade Iraq and having to invade Afghanistan and all this other stuff, it was pretty up there. It was in the 4,000s per year, 4,000 prison escapees per year. Okay, within the first term of Bush Jr. Okay, a law and order president. Okay, somebody that claims to be tough on crime. And technically he was tough on crime. In those days, you could still go to serve hard time for one leaf of marijuana. Okay, it was a pretty tough time back then, and that brought in a lot of escapees. Now, gradually, as the laws relaxed, the prison escapees started to drop. Now, in this day and age, it's down to about the 2000s range, the low 2000s range. Okay. The 2,300, 2,200, 2,100, okay? And one time being 1,953 escapees in 1 year, in the year 2014, okay? Guys, you got a lot of people, they're going to be coming up with a bunch of rhetoric saying this is why we don't defund the police. That's got nothing to do with prison escapees or gangs, okay? This is why we don't restrict gun laws. That's got nothing to do with this gangs and the prison escapee, okay? They made their choice. It's about choice. It's about them doing what they want to do, as well as the allowances that they're permitted to do, the possibilities of them, the possibilities provided for on making the decision to do it. You get yourself this law and order president that's just this total jackass with the laws, you're going to get a lot of escapees. You're going to get a lot of people turning to gangs, the underground. You're going to get a lot of people turning to anti-government. You're going to get a lot of people turning to hate or hate groups, if not gangs. And they're all going to be in support of a leader that they honestly believe is way more better than any damn president. Their drug lord. Okay? It's just that plain and simple. So you're going to hear a lot of rhetoric about defund the police and how gun restrictions is evil and transgender people are evil, which again has nothing to do with gangs, nor does it have anything to do with the dirty business that that the underground has. Okay, you're gonna hear a bunch of stuff that's inappropriate and stuff that's not American and all this other garbage and blah blah blah. None of that has to do with what's going on with the gangs and all this good stuff. As far as presidency goes, again, the incident that happened in Ecuador completely depends here in the US on whether or not we have a president who protects all people or just the ones chosen to be his people. Remember that. That's very important. We should always bear that in mind. It's just common sense, and that's the reason why you're here on this show. It's just common sense on common grounds. Okay? Now, next time I come out, it's probably going to be about a week because I've got the research data. I just haven't written it and organized it yet. But it's going to cover everything from quiet quitting, quiet firing, quiet hiring, all the way to business decisions, and all the way, and it's going to go left field, like the broadcast that I've already talked about. Businesses that in other states that headquarter themselves here in Texas, and look the other way while forced child labor on child immigrants is being conducted in the states that they originate out of, corporations and businesses. The jumping on board of price hiking leading to inflation, the jumping on board of protesting minimum wage, stabilizing and raising the minimum wage and wages gaps and stuff. All of that is being done by corporations and companies. Okay, it has nothing to do with the president. The president isn't telling these people to do it. They're doing it themselves. Okay, and you're going to hear a lot of rhetoric, and I'll bring up the rhetoric that's going on. Oh, this person wants to destroy our country, and Biden wants to do business with China, wants to sell out with China, and all this other stuff. I haven't seen a single Chinese street name in a long time, ever. Okay, so I don't know what they're talking about, selling out to China and letting them conquer us and all this other crap. There's no rewriting of the Pledge of Allegiance. We're not having to hold one hand up in the air during the football game anthems, even though that's a Nazi thing. But you get what I'm saying, or the communist fist in the air, and I think you're supposed to do it with your left hand, your left arm, not your right. Hey, the sun's gone up a little bit. Cool. There hasn't been anything like that. So this whole bizwax about bowing down to all these foreign countries, these foreign powers and everything, I don't know what the hell they're talking about. What are they talking about? None of that's gone down. None of that's taken place. But yeah, I mean, it's just silly. And it's here's the part where it's a concern, is because somewhere down the line, some people are actually going to believe it, and they're going to go as far as wanting to shoot up the place and all this good stuff. And the rhetoric is that somebody is fed up and tired of this audacity, when the fact of the matter is somebody was stupid enough to be influenced through hate and lash out. Okay? That's what's really happening. That's what's actually going to happen. It has nothing to do with being fed up and tired of the guy and tired of this and all this and stuff. People have been fed up with it and all that. No, just the morons that listen to that hate have been lashing out. But it's got nothing to do with being fed up. There's no atrocity. There's no what do you call it? There's no conspiracy. There's no oppression. Okay, there's no oppression, and there's none of that going on. All that's going on is a bunch of people being tired of struggling day to day, week to week, paycheck to paycheck, and they're in serious need of a change, but don't really know how to go at it. I do. It's not the best way, but it is one way. You know, I honestly think to tackle all of our problems, we have to tackle more than one problem at the same time or in parts as we move along. But the one that I keep bringing up, corporate greed and companies that abuse the laws, that's one that a lot of people just don't tackle, leading all the way up to our political leaders. You know, they usually tend to leave it to the courts, lawsuits, blah blah blah, stuff like that. But in that is a valuable way to handling things, because courts take sides of companies and corporations, especially when laws have been rearranged and rewritten by the political leaders that they've bribed. Oh, excuse me, that they've donated to. But yeah, so my method is to hit them that way, hit the problems through that angle. And hopefully you guys out there don't have too much of a problem with it. If you do, by all means, say so, but come up with something factual, please. Don't just go on with your rhetoric. You know what you're talking about. Oh, I see that you're a Democrat lover. Oh, I see that you're I don't know, tranny lover, or all this other crap, which is weird, because back in the 80s when I was a kid, the big popular thing to say was, you must be on crack. Oh, you're taking a lot of those special brownies. You're overdoing it on the brownies. We used to say something that made more sense. Everybody these days don't know what the fuck, they don't make any sense. But that's just the way that I'm that it is right now. That's something that's my problem that I got to get used to. But yeah, here's the thing, y'all. Just bear in mind that in order to avoid incidents like in Ecuador here in the U.S., we have to get a president that protects all people, rather than just the ones that he chooses to, that is chosen because it's his people. Okay? That's the bottom line. Sorry for the rambling and the ranting, but you know me, if you've watched my show, somewhere down the latter half of the show, I gotta just I gotta vent it all out. All right, it's getting close to opening the shop time and start to work. So I'm going to go ahead and sign out. I hope you all are taking good care of yourselves out there. Stay safe. Try to tough out this weather, especially if you're one of the many people out there that are getting those power outages. I noticed that here in Texas, they started up again, which is another reason why my governor is just plain worthless. Y'all take care. Y'all take it easy. This is Chris with Chris's Comments, signing out.